What's up? This is your host Non-Fungible TC, Non-Fungible today and Non-Fungible tomorrow. And today I just can't resist to do this stream 20 minutes earlier because just now the CPI index has just came out. And for those of you who have been monitoring the news, the Downs is trembling. Everything is falling down. This definitely looks like a crash because what happened was that I did say about the inflation index, right? But this is the index that is back in June though, right? So what happened was that inflation rose 9.1 in June, even more than expected. So the industry was expecting an 8.8% increase in the consumer price index. But no, it had a 9.1% increase. So, definitely this is above market expectation. And that is why, wow, we are seeing this huge 15 minutes candle, right? Zoom out. But still, this is quite a very, very low. So anyways, I just want to do the stream right now live to show you this huge candle because basically what happened is that, wow, we do see a sea of red, right? Look at this, a sea of red. None of these are able to escape from this. So if we look at this, the crypto market cap is up for some reason, but then Bitcoin right now is tanking really. Oh, I think this is a lagging data because this is live, right? And then this is like a lagging data because right now the price is dumping so hard that these websites aren't able to catch up, right? So if we look at this, let us look at this one. Let's see. Yep, the market cap is going down. Absolutely. So I've been saying that this week is gonna be volatile because there is a few things. We have the consumer price index today, which is a 9.1%, and at the same time, this doesn't mean anything, right? What it would mean something is that on Friday, we have the retail sales index. If that really shows that the US consumption power has went down because of inflation, we could all assume that there's a chance that it might dip even further down, right? But guys, this is just crazy, this is just so crazy that I have to do a live stream about this. So this is a lagging data. This is not accurate, right? So this is, wow, this is a live data. So for those of you, definitely you have to keep track of these dates because right now Ethereum is at 1,000-ish, like the real live data is at 1,000-ish. So this is really crazy, guys. As I do the live stream, this is still going down. But regardless, definitely inflation is a big thing. For those of you who do not know, yesterday I was talking about the euro. The euro. The currency used in Europe, right, basically has a parity with the US dollar. So inflation, the economy is definitely not looking good because of those of you who do not know, Europe actually relies a lot of the energy from Russia, right? But because of the sanctions, right now they're not getting the energy they need, and that's why the costs of energy is just so high there, right? But right now, as you can see, right, if you know how to do trades this, or if you're on the sidelines, but a lot of people, if they know how to trade this, if they know the long term that, hey, Bitcoin is gonna go up, then maybe they're able to, trade this because the market would, although right now the RSI is so low, but the market will adjust the market view here in the near future, right? But just want to do this live stream earlier today because the inflation now is 9.1 in June. So people are saying that there's a chance that the inflation narrative would peak in June, but in July, inflation will be lower because our gas prices were down and stuff like that. So this is a lagging data, okay? So today I do have a story to tell, and that is DeFi, okay? So my title of this video has DeFi failed. So the reason why I want to do this is that Pantera Capital, for those of you who do not know, Pantera Capital was actually a hedge fund company, okay? So they were one of the earliest blockchain hedge fund in the US, right? So what they do is that they have these blockchain letters, which is actually like a newsletter for the the subscribers, right? So this letter was titled was sent out yesterday, and this was actually written by the CEO of Pantera Capital, Dan. So he's saying that DeFi worked great. So what happened was that DeFi has been getting a lot of bad press recently. For example, some news was saying that DeFi has an existential problem, and that's the thing because what they're saying is that cryptocurrency keeps nose diving, right? Celsius, a crypto lender with asset, was forced to freeze withdrawal. FTX has to bail Celsius, and then BlockFi would have to get so FTX was bailing out one of Celsius troubled rivals, which is BlockFi, And then now, not long after, rescuing crypto broker Voyager. So this was written by the Wall Street Journal, right? Saying that DeFi has an existential problem. But according to Dan, it is for him, what he believes is that it's centralized finance has failed, right? Because all of this, right? For those of you who do not know, CeFi is basically centralized finance and DeFi is decentralized finance. So according to this article, they're saying that, oh, DeFi is failing, but actually these names are actually centralized finance, right? So according to this article, DeFi, decentralized finance protocols, are actually like Aave, Compound, Uniswap, MakerDAO, right? All function flawlessly 20 times 7. And he also talks about why DeFi is working as function, right? So he's saying that DeFi is superior because, first of all, because DeFi, everyone is anonymous, right? So according to this article, everything is over collateralized, right? So it protects you from centralized finance, right? For those of you who have been watching the news articles, you see that Celsius is actually paying back the loans in Maker. They were paying back the Aave loans, and the reason for that is because in DeFi, a deal is a deal. You cannot back out. So what happened was that if the price of certain tokens dropped to a certain level, right? Celsius would be liquidated, right? There is no middle ground, and that is why they were required to pay off these loans if they were to proceed further, or if they were to have a longevity plan. So at the same time, because DeFi is actually forced by smart contract, right? Smart contract, if the numbers hits that, you liquidated immediately, right? So at the same time, they're saying that DeFi is scared because, number one, everything is on chain, right? Because everything is on chain, you have the blockchain's visibility and transparency, right? Therefore, you have accountability, right? Blockchain provides full transparency, okay? And also, right now, a lot of people are playing guessing games, right? For example, if Celsius is moving the money there to do this or that, everyone is guessing, right? But in DeFi, everything is on chain. All the data is on chain. You can see what people are doing, and therefore they're saying that, okay, therefore DeFi is actually working, and therefore DeFi has a strength compared to centralized finance. And these headlines are wrong because it is centralized finance that are over collateralized. Centralized finance with over leverage, right? Over leverage, making all of these exchanges going bankrupt, hedge funds going bankrupt. But DeFi is very strengthened, right? But at the same time, because of the market conditions, people did withdraw money out of DeFi. But because DeFi is on chain, okay, it runs on a smart contract. So that is why it is more superior than centralized finance. So this is basically what this whole article is about. And I do want to share with you because a lot of people might have the misconception of not knowing the difference between centralized finance and decentralized finance, right? So if you're new to decentralized finance, there's a website, definitely check it out, called DeFi Llama. DeFi Llama basically shows you, the total value, like the money locked into, DeFi, right? Interestingly, the market is still, so we're making a lower low if we're talking about 15 minutes. So we'll have to see, right? So anyways, going back to DeFi Llama, right? So if you look at this, right, DeFi Llama, if you look at the overview, you can see all of the DeFi's protocol, right? And also the chains, the different blockchains that it utilizes, and also the TVL, the total value lock, right? So, I was talking about MakerDAO, Aave, Curve, Uniswap, Lido, Convex, right? So these are all the different type of major decentralized, finance protocols, right? So this is kind of different because, Voyager, Celsius, BlockFi, those are centralized lending platforms, right? But these are DeFi. So if you want to know the difference between DeFi, centralized finance, this could be a very good resources for you. And also it's really interesting to show you how the money is going, and also different protocols are having different exposure in different blockchains, right? So the question would be, right, if, say, for example, a country blocks exchanges, right? Like, for example, if Hong Kong in next year, in March 2023, if retail can no longer trade, can you actually use DeFi? Well, actually you could, right? Because these are aren't really centralized exchanges. The single point of failure might be slightly low, even though they could be identified by the team, right? But one of the biggest question would be if government really ban you from trading cryptocurrency. One of the problem with DeFi is that there's a chance that the government might block the IP address, right? So DeFi isn't 100% safe from sanctions and stuff like that, right? Is it 100% safe from regulations, right? A lot of people think that, oh, I'm safe, I can use DeFi if I don't use Binance, I don't use Coinbase, but actually that's not true, because the IP address of these platforms could be blocked, okay? Or they could require them to block certain regional IP address, right? For example, for myself, I was blocked from using a certain NFT platform because their NFTs act as a collective investment scheme, right? And according to the Hong Kong SFC, if you are acting as a CIS NFT, then you cannot, you need to get a license to promote to the people here in Hong Kong. So, but what some other people would do is that they might use a VPN. But the problem with a VPN is that you're basically using other people's network, right? Are you comfortable with a lot of money moving in and out using other people's network, right? So that's the question for you, right? So this is the consideration for DeFi. So without further ado, let us look at traditional news. Traditional news, Dow futures dropped 400 points after much harder than expected inflation report, right? Only 0.3% is able to cause such a huge dump. So right now, Bitcoin, this sum is basically trading according to the futures, right? So we'll have yet to see at 9:30 Eastern time, 9:30 p.m. Hong Kong time, when the US market opens, to see if there's any further downside, right? But this is pretty much aggressive, huge pump and a huge dump in a 15 minutes time frame. But remember, this is a 15 minutes time frame where you look at 4 hours, right? These candles should be less scary, right? So sometimes people control the narrative to say, oh, huge dump, but they're actually using a very short time frame, right? If you look at Asia, right, actually Asia kind of went up a bit by the end of the market, because China trade data released Wednesday saw a 17.9% increase in dollar-dominated export, higher than the 12% that analysts expected. So all of these percentages, all of these reports are definitely important for people to see and also trade, especially in such a bearish market condition, right? So moving on to crypto news. All right, finally, the data right now is really working as intended. So now our crypto market cap is 863 billion with a 2.33% decrease. If you look at this, stable coins, definitely some losses as well. Money is leaving the market. I do think that with such a huge red candle down, we might trigger liquidations in the near future. So we'll have yet to see, is the bottom really there, right? So if you look at crypto, yes, everything is a sea of red, right? If we look at the crypto market cap, pretty much low. We're almost at this low, right? This low-ish was kind of like the lunar crash low, right? So we're almost there. But if you look at this, right, let's see if there's any change to the Bitcoin dominance. Because if the Bitcoin dominance didn't really do much, really, right? If you look at it in a 5 days, let's see. Bitcoin dominance is kind of sideways, because usually when the market crash, money tends to go to Bitcoin, but I think basically money is leaving. Right, Bitcoin is 43.75. Money is not hovering back here yet, right? So on-chain data in general, let us see. I always like to, instead of Bitcoin, I like to look at Ethereum. Let's look at the net flow of Ethereum. Maybe today there might be some external flow, right? Oh, inflows, right? But maybe end of day we'll see some Ethereum taken away, because maybe these are huge discount to wells, right? But we'll have yet to see exchange reserve. If we look at this by 1 month, slowly creeping back up, nothing new. So, looking at news, a Bank of England governor on crypto regulation. People don't fly for long on unsafe airplanes. So the UK central bank continues to urge for tougher cryptocurrency regulations. So if you're in Europe, if you're in England, right? If you don't think cryptocurrency regulation is not coming, it is, because the CEO at SSC here in Hong Kong is now the head of a regulatory organization or government body in the UK. So definitely that will have some effect. For those of you who know, the SFC of Hong Kong, basically it was under his his term where they decided the policy that next year only institutional traders could trade in the beginning, right? So definitely maybe there could be some reference to this when they decide to regulate in the UK. ECB, European Central Bank, issued 3 reports in effort to pass biggest crypto law in Europe. So Europe is already trying to regulate crypto. They're saying that crypto is increasingly threatening financial stability. Recent development shows that stablecoins are anything but stable, as exemplified by the crash of USDT, right? So basically, definitely, of course, they're going to use that as an excuse to do more regulation. But with these reports, right, it basically kind of really shows you that Europe is kind of really it is a priority for them to kind of regulate crypto, especially for retail. So keep your eye on that, right? So liquidators can subpoena BAC founder despite tricky issue with crypto assets. So basically in the UK, a court has given liquidators permission to subpoena the founders of crypto investment firm BAC, including Zhu and Kai, right? So what happened is that the court kind of say that you could freeze the asset or something like that. So that's the news. US, Treasury, right? Wants your comment on Biden's crypto order. Lots of regulation related stuff, right? So what does the US government or the objective of the Biden administrations are? Well, protection of consumer, investor, and businesses in the US, protection of the US and global financial stability, and mitigation of systemic risks, mitigation of illicit finance and national security risks, posed by misuse of digital asset, the enforcement of U.S. leadership in the global financial system and technological economic competitiveness, including through the responsible development of payment innovation and digital asset, promotion of access to safe and affordable financial services, support technical advances that promote responsible development and use of digital assets. So in general, I think the Biden administration, is open-minded in the sense that they're now getting people to, comment on the crypto order, right? But it really does show you that regulation is gonna come. Regulation is definitely on the papers, right? So yeah. So moving on to NFT news. So let us see if there's any news from LFG. So yeah, I talked about the Animal fundraise yesterday. Yep, I forgot to say this wizard, basically they are an NFT project, but if you list an NFT, they'll burn it, right? So that is pretty interesting. And some people were kind of, pissed about this because it creates a fake floor price and some people's NFT got burned for no reason, right? Yep, so Meta announced the first trip demo, tech demo. So more and more interesting stuff will be happening for the other side, right? The tech demo is coming up. More stuff is gonna come up, right? So with 3D prototype run jump emote all through a Chrome web browser. So I think this is gonna be streamed directly to the browser, right? So yeah. Basically, this is the every user of Sandbox can publish the asset on the marketplace. So this is new. Okay, this is great. Now it's finally open. Great. So one of the critiques that I have for Sandbox is that not everyone can upload their voxel, but now it is published. Asset is now open to everyone. So if you guys are interested, definitely you can check out Vox Edit, create your own voxel, export to the marketplace, and add it to your land, right? So no, publishing does not mean minting. Published assets are not NFTs. When will I be able to mint and sell? Well, it will come next, right? But at least you can publish it, right? I hope you can use it for your land, right? Okay, so yeah, let us move on to our news. So basically, a while back, I covered a very controversial news about Burn BAYC. So now, Wider Whips decided to hire a attorney, right, who was actually representing the Frog creators attorney, right? So I think he won, Tom was a seasoned IP litigator known as representing PP the Frog creator Matt Ferturi in multiple suits against far-right organization, right? So I think that he was able to win in the past, right? So now Wider Whips is using the same attorney, but at the same time on the other side, which is Yuga is actually using a prominent Silicon Valley law firm, Fenwick and West, the favorite IP litigation firm of tech giants like Facebook, Amazon, Apple, eBay, and Oracle, right? So it is interesting to see how both sides gonna clash, how the court will see who is on the right and who is on the wrong with regards to the use of IP. Yesterday I forgot to share this news, a really interesting thing, and that is Shanghai to ramp up support for metaverse development. Okay, low carbon project smart gadgets to help China's economic recovery. So basically, the city of Shanghai is going to support foster 10 leading companies and 100 small size firms, which could launch at least 100 metaverse products and services by 2025. Okay, so it really shows you that the metaverse, to some governments, especially the Chinese government, is definitely something that's solid, something that is concrete, that they do believe that is the next iteration of the internet, rather than what other people are saying is a fad. Because really imagine about it, like 10 years later, if VR technology is more advanced, where our motion sickness is less, and where all the processing speed could be higher, the metaverse could really be a thing. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Market definitely looking very shaky. But yeah, just want to stream this earlier just to show you how much a 0.3% could have an impact to the whole market, right? Because when I began to stream, this huge line was dumping all the way back down here. So that's it. This is your host Non-Fungible TC. Oh, I forgot to use my NFT transition, but signing out.